Amara's face was everywhere. Billboards, online fashion blogs, magazine covers. Her image had become a symbol of body confidence and bold style. She should have been celebrating. She should have been basking in the glow of success. But instead, a knot of unease was forming in her stomach. It started small. A comment here, a sly headline there. Too much too soon. Is Amara's fame manufactured? At first, she brushed them off. She had learned to survive the sting of criticism. But then came the leak. One evening, while scrolling her phone after a shoot, Amara froze. An anonymous account had posted behind-the-scenes clips from Fashion Week, unflattering angles of her adjusting her gown, stumbling in her heels, wiping sweat nervously before going on stage. The captions were cruel. "This is your body-positive queen. Can't even walk straight." The video spread quickly, shared by gossip blogs hungry for a takedown. Amara's heart plummeted. It was one thing to hear whispers. It was another to see herself mocked publicly, the comments flooding in faster than she could block them. She locked herself in her apartment for 2 days, curtains drawn, phone buzzing endlessly with messages from friends and fans worried about her silence. But the worst part wasn't the trolls. It was realizing the footage could only have come from someone backstage, someone she trusted. Teo was furious. He stormed into her apartment, packing like a lion in a cage. "They're trying to destroy you, Amara. Don't let them. You've come too far to let vultures win." Her voice was small, the old insecurities clawing at her. "What if they're right? What if I don't deserve this?" He stopped, his eyes blazing. "Deserve? You earned every step of this. They're afraid of you, that's all. Afraid because you're rewriting the rules." But doubt lingered. Even when she returned to work, her confidence faltered. At shoots, she hesitated. At fittings, she second-guessed every choice. She smiled for cameras, but inside, the fire dimmed. The breaking point came at an international casting in Johannesburg. This was her chance to work with a global brand, to take her career beyond Nigeria. But as she stood backstage, she overheard 2 models whispering in sharp tones. "She's here, really, they'll take anyone now. She's just a trend. Give it a year, she'll fade." The words pierced deeper than she wanted to admit. When it was her turn to walk, her steps faltered. She couldn't find the rhythm, couldn't summon the power she once carried like armor. The judges' expressions were polite but unimpressed. She left the room with tears burning in her eyes. That night, she sat alone in her hotel room, staring at the city lights. For the first time since she embraced fashion, she thought about quitting, about retreating back to the safety of numbers, spreadsheets, and invisibility. Her phone rang. It was Ifoma. "Don't you dare," her cousin said fiercely after hearing the tremor in her voice. "Amara, do you know how many women are watching you? Do you know how many people finally feel seen because of you? You can't stop now, not when you've already set the world on fire." Amara broke down, sobbing into the phone. "But I'm so tired. It's like the more I rise, the more they try to drag me down." "Then let them try," Ifoma said firmly. "You'll rise higher, because you're not just doing this for you anymore. You're doing it for every girl who was told she was too big, too loud, too much." Her cousin's words settled deep in her chest. Slowly, the fire began to return. When she flew back to Lagos, Amara made a decision. She would not just defend herself, she would take control of the narrative. With Teo's help, she organized a fashion event unlike any other. A show celebrating body diversity, featuring models of every size, shape, and background. It wasn't about proving herself to critics anymore. It was about creating a stage for others like her. Planning was chaos. Designers were skeptical. Sponsors hesitated. Some whispered that it was career suicide. But Amara pushed on, her determination hardening into steel. The night of the event arrived, held in a converted warehouse glowing with lights. The energy was different, raw, electric, alive. Models of all sizes strutted down the runway, each look styled boldly, unapologetically. The audience erupted in cheers, the walls shaking with joy. And then it was Amara's turn. She wore a gown Teo had designed just for her, deep violet silk with gold embroidery, flowing yet fierce, with a crown of beaded jewels atop her head. She didn't just walk, she owned. Each step was a victory lap over every cruel comment, every doubt, every whispered insult. The crowd rose to their feet, chanting her name. By the end of the night, tears streamed down Amara's face. This wasn't just fashion. This was revolution. This was healing. Backstage, Teo pulled her into his arms, his voice husky with emotion. Do you see now? You were never meant to just fit into fashion. You were meant to change it. Amara kissed him then, deeply, fully, in front of everyone. She no longer cared about whispers. She was done hiding in her clothes, in her heart, in her life. The following days proved what she already knew in her bones. The event was a triumph. Media outlets hailed it as groundbreaking, fans flooded social media with praise, and designers who once dismissed her now begged to work with her. But more important than the fame was the message. Young girls tagged her in photos of themselves wearing bold outfits they once feared. Women wrote to her, saying they had finally looked in the mirror and smiled. Amara understood now. Her story was bigger than fashion. Her style was more than fabric. It was a declaration. And as she stood once more in front of her mirror at home, this time in the dress she used to hide away, she smiled. The woman who once hated mirrors now saw beauty, not in spite of her curves, but because of them. She whispered to her reflection, steady and certain, I am beauty, I am style, I am enough. And she knew, with every fiber of her being, that it was true. I once thought my body was a burden, she said softly, her voice carrying across the room. But I learned that my body is my canvas, my history, my power. To everyone who has ever felt too small, too big, too invisible, you are enough. You are beauty, and the world is waiting for you to embrace it. The applause rose like thunder, echoing long after she stepped off the stage. Teo took her hand, squeezing gently, pride shining in his eyes. And in that moment, Amara knew she had won, both in love and in life. Not because she became perfect, but because she embraced her truth and let the world learn from her light. Her story was no longer just hers. It was for everyone,